whole food, plant-based. Couple other reasons. One is that how much is meat right now? How much is beef and chicken? It's expensive, right? These are not. Lentils, beans, everything's really, really inexpensive when you're looking at whole food, plant-based. One thing I always talk about is there are a lot of products out there now that are processed that are reminiscent of what chicken products or meat products. Impossible Burger. There's Incognito now with chicken tenders and things of that nature. Yes. Are they plant-based? Absolutely. Are they good for you? Compared to animal products, they are better. But again, it's a processed food, so always use it in moderation. So that being said, our next one is going to be a lentil chorizo and taco out of it. So I love this one because I love lentils for one. Lentils are really good for you. They take on a lot of different flavors, and because we are, a lot of people like that Mexican chorizo and kind of a meatier flavor. We're taking this and we're going to create a very flavorful taco with lentils and just some garnish that we're going to add on, like lettuce and tomatoes. So to get started here, I'm going to turn my thing on here, get that heated up a little bit. In the recipe itself, you're going to see a chorizo mix, and that's the first thing you want to do. Now you can double it, triple it, quadruple it, however you want, and basically it will end up being like this, and you can save this and just take it as you need. That's probably one of my favorite things to do, is just making a big spice mix and just let it sit, and just use it when I need it. Okay, first, I'm going to add a little bit of oil to my pan. Get that heated up here, and then I want to add some onions. Now, mine are not as simple and easy as Dr. Yummy's, but they are very, very simple, though. They are very, very tasty. And that's the one thing also, is that we want to make sure people are understanding that plant-based doesn't have to be taking things away. Don't take things off your plate. I'm just making food that's delicious and that's nutritious. And even then, I'm not really focused on that. I'm focused on flavors. So I'm going to start off with some onions. Let these saute for a second here. Again, when you're adding onions to a pan, you can cook these off with oil or without. The thing is that you just want to kind of get them to be a little bit translucent, so they don't have that big bite to them as you're eating them, whatever you're preparing. I'm just going to let this go for a second here.
And onions are actually part of the allium family, along with garlic. Very potent antioxidant. So I know in my house, we start almost every single recipe with a lot of onion and garlic, and we totally disregard any of the instructions that say to add like 1 clove. We're usually like, oh, you mean like a whole head of garlic, right? So we're always spicing stuff up in our house.
Yep. I love also like smoked garlic and other ways just to add flavors. Again, you're just adding flavor to different plant-based options here. So I got that going. Now what I'm going to do is I want to go ahead and bloom my spices. Now blooming means that you're going to get some of the oils out of it and get it really fragrant before you add anything else to it. So I'm just going to add it to my pan here. Now this has chili powder, smoked paprika, oregano, garlic powder, black pepper and salt, thyme, oregano, cinnamon, and coriander seed. Ground coriander. So a very traditional spice mix that normally you would add pork to this for a Mexican chorizo, but we're just going to add some lentils. So again, I'm just kind of getting this, kind of blooming the spices here. And as you can see, it's, I don't want to burn them, so please do not sit there and just let it sit. You always want to make sure you're stirring it around a little bit. You can pretend to do this and go, ooh. And now what I'm going to do is add my lentils. So these are pre-made. Now, what you can do is when you're making them, if you're making them from dry, I like to add them just with vegetable stock and give it some flavor there. You can also get lentils at the store in canned version, and just go ahead and drain them and then put them in your pan. I'm also going to add a little bit of apple cider vinegar. Yeah, this way it gives it that bite and that vinegary taste to it.
And lentils are an excellent source of iron. They're super high in iron. So it's good for any people that are concerned about their iron intake, pregnant women especially, And of course, I recommend it to all my infants that have started solids around 6 months, start getting those lentils in regularly.
All right, I'm just kind of mixing this all up here, making sure that everything's all combined well. I want to make sure I get all the liquid out of it as well, because I want to serve these as tacos. This would be, again, great option for burritos, tacos. You can add this to your scramble as well as a side dish.
Now, how much lentils is that? Is that about half of a package cooked, or like 1 pound, half of a pound, or what do you think?
I believe about half a package. Yeah, this was about half package. It's about 3 cups here. And this is going to create a lot of taco filling. So again, if you're trying to do meal prep, you can do this ahead of time. And then just put it into a container, let it cool down. Don't put hot food into the refrigerator. You want to make sure you let it cool down. And then go ahead and put it up into a container, and then you can either refrigerate it for a few days or you can freeze it. All right, and that's it. That's our filling.